Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. I am Jim Hacking. I am an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. We forgot to send out the link, so the waiting room is wide open if you're wanting to get in to ask me a question. Sorry for not sending out the link earlier. Here it is. I'll put it in the comments. Remember, everything is public. There we go. This is episode number 340 of the Immigration Answer Show. As I said, I'm Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer. We have offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. I'll be here for the next hour answering as many of your immigration law-related questions as possible. We'll also do a show tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central tomorrow. So I see we got some people in the waiting room already. Elohim is here. Let me go ahead and talk to Elohim. Hello. Are you there? Can't hear you. We will come back. All right, let's say hi to Abdullah. Hi, Abdullah.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good.
What's going on?
I have a question for you. I'm sorry, I get the call so quick, so I have a question for you about my case. I got here with a CR1 visa into 2021 March, okay. And I have received a green card for 10 years. My marriage was less than 2 years, but I received the one is expired in 10 years. I'm supposed to receive the one is conditional. So I have contacted USCIS to let them know that about the error twice, and when I called them, they told me that my case is closed. And I have talked to you like in August, and you advised me that I have to go ahead and apply for I-94.
I-90, yep.
Yeah, and I went ahead and applied for 94, and it's still pending. And then I went ahead after that, and I sent the remove condition form.
Good, perfect.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I got it yesterday, and they reject it.
Because they think you have a 10-year green card.
I think so, yeah.
When are the 90 days? When is the 2-year anniversary of your green card?
The 2-year is in March 17, 2023.
Okay, so now we're past the 2-year anniversary.
Sorry, you mean that two anniversary of marriage? It's
what's the start date on your green card?
It's in March 17, 2021.
Okay, so now you're past the 2 years.
Yes.
Okay, so you probably need a lawyer's help to let them know what's going on and to get them to accept the 751. We've had this come up twice before, and both times we've had to send it to them 3 times because they're so stupid.
Okay. So I have, like, lawyer help me with that. Like, I messaged you on Facebook, but there is no response still. I'm waiting for the response.
Have you called the office?
No, not yet. I'm not sure if they are opening on weekend or not.
Just send an email. Here, I'll put the address up. Send an email to the email and just say, hey, I was the first one on the show with Jim on Saturday, and I need help with my 751. That info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Just tell them I was on the show on Saturday.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Abdullah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too, buddy. All right. Hussein is here. Let's see what Hussein has to say.
Yeah, hi, Jim.
How are you?
Doing good. So I have a question. Like, my mother is my father's third wife, and so the other two was like one's dead and one's divorced, right? So my father is applying for our I-130. So he was asking like if there are any necessary documents that he needs to take, or what does he need to do?
Take where?
He's basically filing for our I-130 petition, huh? So,
well, there's lots of documents that he's going to need. What do you mean? Like about the divorces or about the prior marriages?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he needs the death certificate of wife number 1 and the divorce decree for wife number 2.
So these are all the documents he needs.
When you say these are all the documents he needs, you mean about those marriages or about the case in general?
In case in general.
No, you need lots of stuff. You got to prove up the relationship with each family member. You got to prove the marriage is real. You got to prove the relationship to all the kids.
So there are documents with I-132.
What do you mean?
Like he was asking, like he's generally confused. Like, does he need to file any extra documents with I-130?
Yes, a ton.
Oh, okay.
You you have a burden of proof. Getting an immigration benefit is not just about filling out the forms. You need lots of good evidence that shows the relationship. You got to prove the relationship is real,
Oh, okay.
especially for a third marriage.
So like a death certificate, a divorce certificate,
But then you
and
got to prove the new marriage. You got to prove the relationship. You got
okay,
to
okay.
prove the relationship to the children. You need all their birth certificates. You need to show there's all kinds of stuff. This is like saying, how do you make a meal and then not knowing all the things at the grocery store? Like there's a lot more to it than I'm just explaining right now. I'm worried about your questions that nobody knows what's going on and they probably need help.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Hussein. All right. Michelle is next. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, hi, this is Jasmine. Good morning.
Hi, Jasmine.
I have a quick question. So, I have my 485 interview. So, and my I-601 is pending. So, my question is, should I get prepared for my interview?
Yes. Why would you not get prepared for your interview?
For the 601.
You mean you're worried? You're thinking that your green card interview might not happen because your 601 is still pending?
No.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be ready for anything. You probably have to be ready to talk about the waiver. You have to be ready to talk about the 485. Sure.
Oh, okay. 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 Thank you.
Bye, Jasmine. All right. Everybody thought I was lying, that I tricked you, that there wasn't really going to be a show today. I see lots of comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Today is indeed April Fool's Day. My wife fell for a good one from my son's university. He acted like they were changing the name of the University of Virginia, or the abbreviation from UVA to UV. And she totally fell for it until I told her it was the first day of May. Kim is here. Hi, Kim.
Hello, can you hear me?
First day of April, I meant. Yeah. Hi, Kim. How you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I've been here before. I don't know. Do you remember me or no?
I remember your face, but I don't remember
I was
anything we
asking
talked
you a
about.
lot of question about marital evidence. Should I include this or those?
Okay.
Yeah. And so great news is I already have my employment authorization card.
How long did it take?
I filed in February 9th, and they receive in February 13. I do my biometric in March 17, and March 30, I have my card in my postal.
That's fantastic. That's how it's supposed to work. That's great.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm in Raleigh and there is not much immigrants here like me. So my question is, I still didn't get anything about I-131.
Yeah, that's always going to take longer. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So what the result of I-131? It will be like the card or just a message or letter? What should it be?
It'll be, since you already got your work card, it'll be a piece of paper. It'll be 8.5 by 11. It'll have your picture in the corner, and it'll be your travel document.
Oh, great. And one more question. When I'm logging to USCIS site and watching my case, there is the estimated time. It's like 8 months, but we're in Raleigh, NC, and we are, me and my husband going to move to Florida. So for how long should it take if we go there? I mean, how longer it will be?
Mm-hmm. It'll probably add 2 or 3 months. And plus, Florida is slower, so it could be adding 6 months.
And also, your advice was not to go abroad until you get your green card. Is it true? I mean, if I will have I-131, still it's better to stay here?
Always better to stay. Were you in status when you got married, or were you out of status when you got married?
Okay. Thank you very much, and good Ramadan.
Okay, thanks, Kim. See ya. That was nice. Let's see what Maestro has to say. Hi, Maestro.
Yes, sir. I called the show before, and you were saying that maybe I got to go ahead and pursue with the suing to get a decision. But
Okay.
I wanted to find out some more clarity. I was before I go ahead. Previously, I did write to the I think it was the congresswoman, but they did reach out to me and said that they are waiting to schedule an appointment when a date is come to schedule an appointment, like last week. So I was wondering what should I do.
Well, the senators don't know anything more than USCIS tells them, and they tell USCIS tells them the same things they tell you. So I don't think the congressperson is going to get much movement for you.
Okay, so I think I should go ahead and pursue that then.
I guess. What kind of case is it? How long have you been waiting?
I remember I told you that I was from Brooklyn and I get my I-130 approved, but my I-485 was pending from 2018.
Yes, that's 5 years. You should sue them.
Okay, but you said that it could go both ways because the circumstances was
always true. That's always true.
Yeah. So that's what I was wanted. That's what I was seeking clarity.
Great.
And
Thanks,
what was the cost you said again? Because I'm going to definitely hire to do it.
Yeah. So our fees went up today. So the filing fee is still $402, and our legal fee is $4,800. So it's $5,202. So people will pay us $3,202 to start, and then $500 a month for 4 months.
All right, I'm definitely going to work on it. So I'm going to accumulate what I need to accumulate, and then I'm going to pursue it. Thank you.
We'll be here. Thanks, Maestro. Okay,
All
bye.
right.
All right. Let's see what Skymaster has to say. Hi, Skymaster.
Hello, how you doing?
Great.
I have a question for you, Jim. Let me give you, a little background of my case. I came here in the U.S. Back in 2004. I was 17 years old at the time, and come without inspection. I didn't see any, immigration officer or anything. And then all the way living in America, all the way in 2015, I met my wife. We got engaged, and a year later, we got married in 2016. And then a year later, we applied for the I-130 and got approved in 2018. And then we applied for the waiver. And because the COVID and stuff, it took so long, you got approved in 2021.
601A?
Yep. And then I went back home for the interview. And I got back in, November 2021. I got the 10-year green card because, by the time I was like 6 years.
Sure.
6 years. And then my question for you now we're from Boston. So we are planning to move to Florida now. She's already there now. And I'm still in Massachusetts because I have business over here. But I'm moving over there in a couple months. For now, we're just back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
My question is, next year I'm going to be eligible for apply for any 400, but consider the fact that we're living apart for 6 months now. Or am I going to be okay?
Well, sometimes they take a pretty hard line on that. So it's a matter of proving it up. Are you spending, even though you're living apart, are you still seeing each other a lot? So what happened was, under the Trump administration, it used to just be, if you're married for 3 years and you live together, whatever amount you want, then you can get your citizenship. But under Trump, they said that it has to be 3 years of living together, the whole 3 years, which is why you're asking the question. So I have had people call the show, and we've had clients where it goes both ways. It sort of depends on the officer. But I think that if you can demonstrate I mean, there's sort of two approaches. One is you could just wait an extra 6 months. I mean, you're going to have to wait 90 days when you get to Florida anyway to file, because you have to live in the jurisdiction you apply for citizenship for 90 days before you file. Otherwise, they'll deny it. So you might want to just go ahead and wait the full 6 months to reset the time that you had apart, but it also might reset the clock. It's sort of a gray area. Nobody really knows. So it's all going to be whether or not you want to take your chance or you want to wait and not spend the money in case it gets denied.
Yeah, plus too, because she had insurance over there. We filed the tax 2022. We have to file separately because it is what it is. We don't want to do anything out of the law,
Wait,
that's
wait,
one of
wait.
my
Hold on. Why did you have to file separately? That's news to me.
Because her insurance from the insurance that she has, from Florida now, because she's there, and mine's from here, so there's no way the address not the same.
Oh, you mean file for immigration?
I'm sorry, the taxes. So we filed the tax.
Okay, so you're not doing this right. So if you're living apart, you guys should have one official address, a family address. You should file your taxes for that family address. And then
right.
if she has to pay state income taxes to Florida, so be it. But she's a Massachusetts resident who's working temporarily in Florida. She's not a resident of Florida. You should not play that game. That's just going to cause you trouble.
All right.
And in fact, that goes against your argument that you've lived together for 3 years for purposes of citizenship. So you probably are doing things that are making your citizenship case worse.
Okay, that's all I was concerned about. One other thing. Between that time, so far I never traveled out of the country yet. Am I going to be okay? Like coming in, with the CBP officer and stuff, right? As long as you tell them the truth, right? It should be fine.
Well, your waiver was granted. You were given a green card. As long as you haven't committed any crimes or anything, it should be okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering, if they ask, "Hey, are you coming to Boston?" But I can see your wife she's now in Boston.
Oh, they won't know that. And again, that's why you need one family address and then use, other addresses for for where she's working.
All right, Jim. That's all my questions. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks, High Master. All right. Let's see who's next. Fahad is next. Hi, Fahad.
Hey, Jim. Question. So I'm from Pakistan. So the guy I know, he's from Syria. He filed 2 cases back in December 2015. F2B. One for sister and brother. Brother case is in embassy right now in Jordan. He's waiting for a year. I don't know if there's anything over a year. If there's anything can be done for the interview.
Sister and brother? What do you mean sister and brother? F2B.
F2B 2 cases. Brother got approved and went into the interview line, and one sister, she got married and divorced within the F2B filing.
Okay, so but these aren't his. You're talking about the parents did.
Yeah, the parents did. Yes.
Okay, so let's start over.
Okay.
So there's this guy from Syria. We'll call him Sam.
Okay.
Sam has 2 children above the age of 21. One's a male, one's a female.
Correct.
So Sam filed I-130s for both of them in what year?
December 2015.
Okay. And when he filed each application, the son and daughter were both single.
Yes.
And then in the interim, the daughter got married and then divorced.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. So what's the question?
Question is, daughter case sent back to USCIS, well, from State Department, and the son case is in line for the interview in Jordan for a year.
Okay. So why did sister's case get sent back?
The USCIS said they'll let us know, but they never did. No, they let them know.
How long ago?
I think it was March last year.
A year.
Yes, a year.
So, and when's brother's interview?
Yeah, it's been a year. February last year, he's in line for the interview.
Which embassy?
Jordan.
Okay, so what's the question for me?
Question is there anything can be done for both of them? What can be done?
Well, that's a great dirty trick that State Department and USCIS like to play with each other. Is we're sending it back for possible revocation to USCIS, and then guess what? They never send it. because that's all just totally wasted time. So, so it sounds like has the dad submitted any information to the State Department that the daughter had gotten married and then divorced? Do they know about? They know about that. So that's probably why they're sending it back. They're probably saying that when she got divorced or when she got married, then she fell out of the case.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's much can be done for her case. And in Son's case, it sounds like you're just waiting. I mean, whenever you're talking about getting immigrant visas for people from Syria, there's two complicating factors. One is that they're doing it somewhere in a country other than where they live, you know, because Jordan, and then also is Jordan's really backed up. And so, so I think they're just waiting.
So waiting for the son. And what about the daughter? Is there anything we can be doing? Is the case dead or not?
I think so. I don't know for sure, but I will check for sure. I'm pretty sure that once she got married, that's the end of the case.
Because I remember you were saying that once you get married, your case is gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's right.
I didn't know that if something, when she get divorced, something can be done or not.
Can you send me an email and I'll make sure, because I don't want to give you any wrong information. I think that's true, but if you email me, I can let you know, because that's something I should know and I can research it pretty easily.
Yeah. So you want me to write something specific or
just say, my name's Fahad. I want to know if a F2B gets divorced, married while their case is pending. Is their case totally over even if they get divorced?
Okay.
All right.
What
info at hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Info at hacking.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks,
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. All right. Let's say hi to apps customer. What do you say, apps customer? Hello? I can't hear you. You're muted or something. Can't hear. Nav is here. Hi, Nav. Can't hear you now. All right. People are having some internet problems, which actually happens a lot on the weekends. Ken is here. Hi, Ken.
Hey, Jim. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, Jim, I had my interview for the to become a citizen, and I just did my research. I realized I never sent my 2 passport size photos, and I got online. I got mail saying that my ceremony has been canceled. So I'm assuming, what should I do? Because maybe they cannot find my passport size photo.
No, you don't need to do that anymore for citizenship. They just do that for biometrics. So you don't need that anymore. So that's not it.
Because when I was doing my application, I never sent any photos of my I believe N600 application.
Well, was it an N600
to become a citizen?
Or an N400?
Hold up, is it to become a citizen?
Well, they both involve citizenship. Are you did you take the test and everything?
I took the interview January 9th, and I passed it.
But like you had the 10 civics questions and everything.
Yes, passed everything. Yeah.
So that's an N400. So for N400s, you don't need to send in the passport photos anymore.
Oh, anymore? Okay.
So that's not it.
And then last question, I got 2 mail. One says ceremony has been canceled on the same day, and one says ceremony is still on. So what should I do?
I think you got to check with them, because sometimes weird things happen, and you want to make sure that you show up if you have an actual ceremony. So you got to call them.
Call, but don't go and show up, right?
I would show up if I don't know for sure that it's canceled. I would show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for the help, sir.
See you, buddy.
Take care. Be safe.
Okay, you too. Thanks. Hiwara is here. Hi, Hiwara.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
So my husband and I filed for our papers, which was the I-130, 485, and 765 in October and November of last year. And my husband's biometrics appointment wasn't granted until 5 months after we filed. So he kind of just completed his biometrics about 10 days ago.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah, so when we filed in November for the 485 and 765, we submitted evidence like the joint bank account statements, the joint lease agreements, and we also have a history of living together since 2020. and also our marriage certificate, of course. But we didn't include any pictures because we thought that was like strong enough to submit. We now want to submit pictures on the portal as additional evidence to prevent any possible RFEs. So do you think it will track back our case if we do it now or 10 days after the biometrics, or do you think it would be a problem?
Start uploading.
Start uploading. Okay.
Goal now isn't so much about whether or not you get an RFE. The goal now is whether we can avoid an interview, because they're granting so many green cards now without interviews. The goal now is upload it and then maybe even get to your green card without an interview.
Okay. Like, how many pictures do you think we should? As many as possible.
So the way that we do pictures is we get a Google Doc and we put 2 on a page, and then we have a description underneath each one of what it is. So here's us at Six Flags, here's us on Christmas, here's us on New Year's, and then here's us with my family. That way they can see the flavor of it. And I would say 20 pages of 2 photos each with descriptions.
Okay.
15, 20 pages. So 30, 40 photos.
All right.
What about medical? Did you do the medical?
No, we didn't do the medical.
Yeah, so you'll get a letter for that. So you're fine. Just keep going. I mean, generally, I'm not a big fan of uploading stuff to the portal or supplementing a case after you filed it.
Yeah.
But with them waiving interviews, I think we've got to give it a shot.
Okay. So it's not gonna like track back the case in any way or anything?
You mean like, is it gonna fall backwards because you're adding stuff? No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
All right. That sounds good. Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
All right. Thanks
Thank
a lot,
you.
Jim.
Have a good weekend.
You
All right. Let's see who is here. Mariana's here. Hi, Mariana.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. I do have a couple questions regarding like different cases. But the first one is for my husband. He still hasn't received his work permit. He filed back in September. You said like 7 months, right? It takes.
Incredibly, yes.
Yeah, so he still hasn't get it. This is the last month we're waiting for. So what would happen if it doesn't come this month? This will be the last 7 month.
You could sue them or you could keep waiting. That's it.
Oh, okay.
When did he get fingerprinted?
Okay. He did, yeah.
When?
Oh, when? Sorry. September, October, like first days
That's
of October.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just taking so long. But also, like I was just hearing the last person talking on the show, and I hear like you can like upload more information in the portal. We did submit our like forms through just paperwork on the mail. So I don't know if we can do that or not.
I wouldn't.
No. Okay. Because like them, we didn't submit many pictures, but we have 2 kids together, so I don't think that's too much.
So that's like if you ever have an interview, then you take kid number 1 and put him on the desk, and take kid number 2 and put him on the desk and say, "This is my evidence."
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
teasing. I'm teasing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay. And please go over there. And also regarding my sister, I don't know if you remember I mentioned it. Mila, please go over there.
She's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
She's fine.
My dad passed away. We do have different moms. She's like my half sister. I don't know how is it called in English.
Yeah.
But I think you mentioned that if I try to bring her here and her having my citizenship, like as I adopted her or something like that, was too hard because I needed to prove like her mom was not
And then it's
taking
not
care
for,
of her.
and then it's not for immigration purposes. Yep.
Correct. So like if her mom like signs a document that she like takes all legal responsibility from her, or would that case will be really hard to make?
Yes.
So the only option is the 20-year for sisters, right?
I'm not saying it's the only option. I'm just saying you're asking me, is it a very difficult case? Yes, it's a very difficult case. You'd have to adopt her in the home country after her parental rights, the mom's parental rights are terminated. You'd have to adopt them. You'd have to do the immigration paperwork. You'd have to prove to the State Department and maybe the USCIS that you're not doing it to get her an immigration benefit faster than if she applied as your sister. And then when she got here, you'd have to readopt her again. So I think it's a pretty high burden. I think it's a low chance of success.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. And one last question. This is
Yeah.
regarding my uncle. So his sister, the same thing. She, like 15 years ago, claimed him to try to get his green card. He did got the acceptance of the I-130 like on 2009, but I
Yeah.
think since it's like 20-year wait, he still has to wait for like another 2 years, correct? Depending on the
Yep.
visa bulletin, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was my last question.
Okay.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day. Bye, Mariana.
you
See ya. Okay, bye. All right. Let's see. Mo's here. Hi, Mo.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. So I have a quick question here. I applied for my stepdaughter back in December 2021, concurrent filing I-130 and I-485, yeah. I-485 adjustment of status. Literally about last week, I think about like 5-6 days ago, they sent an approval for I-130 and saying that the above petition has been approved. However, you did not indicate that the petitioner in the petition that the beneficiary intends to apply for immigration abroad or they want to do the adjustment of status here. And they are just, retaining the petition, my I-130. I talked to quite a few people in USCIS. I actually sent email to Texas Service Center acting director. I sent email to the district director for Red River region. I sent email to Terry Robinson, who is the NBC director, and to Vermont Service Center. All those folks, the directors there. I sent email to them, and they responded. They didn't respond back. Sorry. They didn't respond back with the exception of, like the Texas Service Center that they're sending this information to the Houston field office, acting director, and we'll talk to them. Now, yesterday I got a call from the Houston field office, and they want me to go and meet them there. However, the person, I think it was a tier 2 officer, he didn't want to talk to me. He said, yes, you're the petitioner, but you're the stepfather. So the biological mother has to come and talk to them in person. And I'm like, I just don't understand, they don't really provide better information. I was really frustrated, and I am actually even right now.
I can tell.
That how can they even miss it? I double checked I-130 on page 8, item 61A and B literally says Houston, Texas. And I didn't ken that how can they miss it? Like we sent everything in like tons of documentation for the kids, and
for the 485, did you use the same mailing address and residence address?
It was concurrent, yes. Everything was in the same package.
But I know, but when you listed the child's address on the 485, did it have the same address that you listed on the I-130?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, why? First of all, let me just say this. You've done a great job of moving this forward after a dumb decision by USCIS. So thumbs up for getting it as far as you did. To me, you're pretty darn close. Why not just bring mom and the three of you go down there and talk to them and say, schedule us for a damn green card interview so we can finish this up?
Yeah, no, and they told me, so here's another problem also. The CSRs who I talked to, which got me really frustrated. One of them, they told me the file is in Vermont Service Center. The other one told me it's, the other one told me that the file is in Nebraska Service Center, same day. The third one literally told me it's NBC. And it really got me, frustrated.
So that proves my point.
Yeah.
That they just make shit up.
I think so, absolutely. I called them out. I called the customer service out that you literally do not know anything. You're just making shit up, and I cursed at them. I'm sorry. I do that to the CSRs all the time. They won't even give me, make me talk to the tier 2 officers. And I was like, if you don't know, if you don't have the information, you can access the file. Why don't you just give it to your supervisor? I'll talk to them.
How old is the kid?
There are two. One is 13, and the other one is 10 now. When we applied, they were 8 and actually 8.5 and 10.5 at the time.
So I understand the frustration. I hear about it every day. We deal with it at our office all the time. I know that it's frustrating. What if we just took a deep breath, said Bismillah, took a big breath, and then just bring them on down to the Houston field office like they asked, and just get this thing done. This is like running the ball all the way down, about to score a goal, and then sitting down at the 5-yard line, right? You don't. We're just about there. So just finish up. You're almost there. You're doing a great job.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, so what documents do you think I should bring? I have like the 485 receipt. I have the RFE responses that I sent for both the kids. I have the approval letter. So just all the general stuff, right? That's about it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
all right.
You're talking right now, Mo. You're talking about going down there to clear up the fact that they didn't know it was a 485, not going down there for the actual interview, because that'll come later. If they might waive it.
Right. They've already waived it, actually. For one of the girls, they've waived it. For the other one, they are not even looking at.
So that just proves again how dumb they are. Why do they waive it for one but not the other?
No idea. I mean, in the other one, they asked for documents like about a year ago. They haven't even looked at it. When I went down there last year in March, they said the analysis is complete. They're awaiting interview for my older one. They literally sent me email yesterday saying that they're still doing the analysis.
Oh, I had someone. I'm in some Facebook group with some immigration lawyers, and they had a client who was getting naturalized that day, and in the mail they got a biometrics notice for that client for that case.
Wow.
Right. So
yeah,
they're clowns, dude. Okay, Mo. Good luck.
Right.
Let us
Thank you so
know
much.
how it goes.
Absolutely, will do. Yeah, appreciate it.
See ya. Got a couple questions in the text that I saw. Are I-130 supposed to be approved before you get a marriage green card interview? Usually they're done together at the same time, unless the person filing the petition is a green card holder. Usually they just do the I-130 and the 485 all together at the green card interview, because the I-130 is the marriage part and the 485 is the green card part. So usually, Lulu, that's all done at once. Maleli got a denial from USCIS for the N-400. Officer said I didn't provide sufficient evidence for my taxes. So I'd be focused there on trying to figure out, was in fact the documentation that I submitted enough, or was it not? And if it was enough, then I would just file an N-336 and appeal it, as opposed to filing a new N-400. But if it's their mistake, appeal with an N-336. If it's my mistake, then I'm starting over. All right, so he says he submitted all the evidence. So that's probably an N-336. If you want our help, call the office or email us, Malali. If you've submitted all the evidence, then usually those are pretty good ones to appeal if it's just a clear mistake, because then we say, you guys are so dumb. You said he didn't submit his tax transcripts, or you didn't say he didn't submit his tax returns. Here it is on page 18 through 47. So anyway, that's all I can say about that. All right, let's say hi to Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Great news. Assalamualaikum, by the way. So I was on your show in October last year. At that time, I was in removal proceeding. My lawyer doesn't want to help me terminate the case with the court. So I look at advice from USCIS advice, and you told me either find another lawyer or just wait. So I got approved today for the green card.
Nice.
2 years, 4 months.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I just want to let you know that one of the reasons that my case, because we filed the 485 with USCIS instead of the court, and you said at the time it was dumb. I agree with you. But then, after I got the termination, I have to go back to the USCIS. I did this trick. I filed 131 advance parole the moment that the case is terminated, while my 485 is still admin closed. It got approved in 8 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so I agree with you when you say that when you don't file the 131 concurrently, usually it will approve faster.
Okay, so you're calling to give me a trick, which is maybe don't file the 131 right away, because it's the 765 that's slowing down the 131. So yes. my theory is correct, is yes. what you're saying, and it worked for you.
Yes.
Awesome.
I don't need that 131 because I was in removal proceeding. I don't want to leave the country without the green card.
Yeah, sure. No, I wouldn't either. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I got approved.
Well, maybe we'll test this out, because I have some friends that were doing cases. Maybe we'll test it out and we'll just file the 765 with the original case. Then when we get the receipt notices back, file. Yeah, that might be the play. That'd be fun if that worked. I'll try it.
So yeah, I got approved in 8 days, but because there's distribution or production issue the past 3 weeks, it's been 3 weeks. I never get the advance parole.
But you got your green card today.
No, because I expedite as well the 485 with the same reason why I expedite my 131 and it got approved. So I'm so happy and thank you so much
I'm
for
happy,
your help.
Cindy. Congratulations. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
calling in. Bye-bye. Oh, we always like it when people call us back and tell us that things worked out, especially when Jim is right and not when Jim's a dummy. We always like it better when Jim is right and not when Jim's a dummy. All right, Ashakur is here. What's up, Ashakur?
Hi, Jim. Hey, I see your videos in YouTube all the time, so I have a question related to that. So my wife is a U.S. citizen, and she applied for my green card last year in June, and I'm here in U.S. You know, when she applied for my 130, we also filed for I-765 and I-131 at the same time.
Sure.
So the time when I applied, it was like 6-month processing time. So my receipt started with IOE. I think that means a National Benefit Center. But, you know, it keep increasing and increasing. Right now, the processing time is showing like 11 and a half months.
Right.
So I got a really good job. I started looking for a job when it was like 6 months after the filing. And I got a really good job, but I cannot join because of that. Is there something I can do like to expedite the I-765 only? I don't need the other ones approved right away, just the I-765.
If you suit them on the 765 only, you'll probably get your work card in about 2 months or faster.
Okay. Yeah, it's like already 9 months now, you know?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What country are you from?
Bangladesh.
Yeah. So that might have something to do with it. I don't know. Were you in status when you got married or were you out of status?
I was in status.
Yeah.
I'm living in US for like 6 years now.
Oh, wow. Well, hopefully it'll come soon. But otherwise, the only thing I know that absolutely works is to sue them.
Okay. Okay. So you said it takes like 2 months after the suing to get some result.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that when it is like 11 months or something.
Well, hopefully it won't get there.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Ashakur. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Gabrielle is here. Hi, Gabrielle.
Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you for doing this.
Of course.
I have a question. So I recently got married in February, and he started filing a 130 form for me. But before I even asked, do I file the 485 like after the 130 or simultaneously?
So you're inside the United States?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you're married to a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
So you should have filed the 45 with the I-130 on the same day in the same package.
Okay, fine. So we're doing it online, but you have the I-130 website. I mean the I-130 form online, and then you do another 145, 485.
Yeah, I've never filed one electronically, so I'm not sure exactly how it all works. We do everything on paper.
Oh, that's why we were doing it electronically. So okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do. I don't know. People tell me in the comments, can you do a 45 online? I don't know if you can. Can you file a 45 online? I don't know.
I'm looking at it. I can only like download the form and file it through paper.
Yeah, I don't think you can file a 45 online.
But the 130 could be online.
Yeah, I-130 you can for sure. Yep.
Okay. Second question is it important that I change my last name in all my documents? I currently just have a EAD, the workers authorization. So do I have to change my last name and everything?
No, I tell people to wait until they get their citizenship to do that.
Okay. So another question. So I'm in school. I'm getting my master's right now. We don't have an apartment, right? So I'm living in his parents' house. How can I go about proving that? Is just the lease document sufficient? Or which way would you recommend?
I would say affidavits from him, affidavits from the parents. Now listen, you're going to file, you've got a bunch of stuff to file, not just the 45, right? You know that, right?
Yeah. Now I'm learning because I did my research, and I have to file, like,
let's talk it through. So you have to file a 485.
yeah.
That you have to file another I-765, even though you have your EAD from school. You're going to file for an EAD based on the marriage. You're going to file an I-131 in case you need to leave the country real fast while your green card case is pending.
Okay.
Then you're going to go get a medical exam, which is called an I-693. So you have to give them a medical exam, and you need your vaccination record. So you need to go on Google and type in USCIS civil surgeon near me. And then you'll put in your zip code, and you'll find the right doctor. And I would call around, because some will be $300 and some will be $650. So call around for that. Now, the last thing is, if you guys are living in his parents' house, he's going to have to file a form called an I-864. An I-864 is the affidavit of support. So if he's like a college kid like you, he probably hasn't made enough money the last 3 years.
No, he's not in college. He graduated about 3 years ago. So right now he's just in his career.
So how much is he making each of the last 3 years? How much has he made on his taxes? Do you know? Over 30,000?
I know he makes $60K annually.
But for each of the last 3 years, all three?
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. So then he needs to sign the I-864. So those are all the forms that you're going to need in order to get yourself a green card. And of course, now that you have the I-130 receipt notice, you'd want to include the receipt notice with your submission, so that.
No, I haven't filed the 130 yet.
Okay, so here's what I would do. I would do the whole thing on paper. Do it all at once. Don't do it don't do it. I thought you already filed the I-130.
No.
Do it all on paper. I think you should hire a lawyer to help with this, just based on your questions, because I think it's going to be better. But that's just me, right? I think you're doing fine, but I think there's a lot of stuff. Like, what's your field of study, Gabrielle? What is your getting your master's in?
I'm getting it in biomedical science, and I'm applying to med school this cycle. So I'm
okay. So that's awesome. That's fantastic. But you doing the immigration paperwork on your own is sort of like me trying to diagnose my kid if they fell off a bike, right? So we all have our expertise in different things. And I'm not saying hire me. I'm just saying that you might want some help, because the questions you're asking me, it's pretty, like, the stuff I'm saying is pretty easy stuff, pretty basic stuff. And I just think there's stuff you might miss.
I've been doing a lot of research, because I've been paying my tuition out of pocket for even for graduate school, and it's like $5,000. Like, it's like very expensive, and I'm working a lot, so I don't even have the finances to afford a lawyer. So that's okay.
So that's what you need. So, and then another thing you can do is go to hackinglawpractice.com/ marital or / marital evidence, and you can get my list that we use of all the marital evidence that you're going to submit. So I would do it all in one. I would go do the medical and file the medical before. You're going to need the tax returns for your husband, and then the marital evidence will list all the kinds of stuff you need to show to prove that it's a valid marriage. So you that's the best I can do for free.
Okay, that's helpful. And I think I have one last question. Is uploading documents about, like, my master's program, like my med school application, efficient? Like, would it be helpful if I upload that to show them I'm still, because they wouldn't know, and they don't know what they don't know. You understand? So, like,
in other words, you're asking me, Jim, is it good for me to demonstrate that I've maintained my immigration status all the way up through the day that I filed this application by showing them my I-20s, my prior visas, and all that stuff? Is that the question?
No. I-20? Well, I was just saying that, is it important to kind of, like, just let them know that I'm still in school and I'm graduating?
That's how you do it. The I-20, your I-20? You know what I'm talking about?
Right. I'll write that down.
But do you know what the I-20 is? The I-20 is what your school gives you to let you go to school. You're going to school as an international student on an F1, right?
No, I'm not going to school as an international student. I'm going to school as a asylee seeker. Yeah. So I've passed that visa stage. Now I'm just in the asylum seeking status.
Okay. So
And that is that actually the status I'm in right now is it's something that the previous lawyer that we had just threw us in. So it's not
right,
even
so
like,
now we're going to back up a little bit, just one more time. We're going to do a little bit more work, and then I'll let you go. So when did you enter the United States?
2012.
And you entered with your family?
Yes.
And how old were you in 2012?
I was 11.
And so your family filed for asylum from your home country. And
No. We came with an R1 visa.
yeah, came as a religious worker, and then you filed for asylum inside the United States.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then your mom or dad had an interview at the asylum office. Did that get approved, or did that get denied and sent to the immigration court?
We never had an interview.
It's still pending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So in answer to your question, yeah. So, okay. Again, I'm sorry you don't have the money to pay for a lawyer. You really need a lawyer for this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
Because
okay.
you have a complicated immigration history, and you need to demonstrate how you entered, what you've done to try to stay, what you've been doing. So in answer to your overall question, yeah. But I mean, we almost missed a big bullet there because we didn't talk about that sooner. And that's what I mean for everybody watching. That's what I mean is every case is different, and every little fact, like for Gabrielle, it's not that important, but for immigration, it's really important. So there's all these different little places where you can screw up and get in trouble. And that's what I'm trying to get you to avoid. So I'm not trying to talk you into hiring me. I'm really not. I'm trying to make sure that you don't waste your money and don't start this process and miss something early on that either makes it subject to getting denied or seriously delayed. When you're now married to a U.S. citizen, as long as you entered with inspection and can prove that you entered with inspection, that you had a visa when you came to the United States, that's the most important thing.
Okay. So even if we need to file the 130 or 130A,
Both.
like both, so we would need to sort of accumulate evidence. Okay, time out. So before I can even do that, I would have to show proof of my previous years.
You at least have to prove how you entered the United States. That's the most important thing. Whatever, like you guys came on a plane, right?
Yes.
So when you came on a plane, you landed at an airport. Do you know which airport it was?
Yes, we went to New York and then Orlando, MCO in Orlando.
But where did you do customs? Do you remember? You probably don't remember. It was
it wasn't in Orlando. I'm sorry. It was in what do you mean customs?
Well, when you got off the plane, you had to go through and wait at customs, and they had your passport and they stamped your passport.
That was most likely in Orlando because we didn't fly anywhere ever since.
Who has your passport from back then?
My mom has it.
Gabrielle, this is the most valuable thing in the planet that you own in America. The most valuable thing you have right now is that passport, because that passport shows that you were properly inspected when you entered the United States. Without that, the process that we just talked about is completely different, and there's lots of different steps. So a fundamental part of all this, the most important thing for you to do is to show that you enter the United States legally. That's the most important thing.
But the passport is not an American passport, though.
Sure, but there's a stamp in there that shows that you had a visa.
Is that a 194?
The I-94 is the most important thing.
So that was with my passport, and I can't find it anymore.
Oh, fuck.
I know. And, like, I haven't been able to, like, even for my school documents, when I already know I'm not eligible for scholarships, but they always tell me to prove that, but I never prove it. And I've been going to this, I did my undergrad here, so I've never had to prove it to them.
Okay, so now I hate to tell you, you cannot file this case without a lawyer. Because this is you've got a real fight on your hands. Now, do other family members have their I-94s from when you all entered together, or does nobody have their I-94s?
We do, but I think when we gave it to the lawyer that helped us, we never got any document back. So
that's job one, is bother the shit out of that lawyer and get that I-94 is literally the most, other than your husband, that's the most valuable thing you have in America, right? Because your valid entry, you cannot get a green card without proving a valid entry. You can't.
Okay. Okay, all
And
right.
so you were a click away from starting this whole thing with an I-130 online. I'm so glad you didn't file, and I'm so glad you called me first. But these are all the things that have to be, there are a ton of pieces for your case that have to be put into place before you get your green card.
See, I was just going to wait till this whole asylum process gets approved because I didn't want
You
to.
don't want to do that because you're married to a U.S. citizen. You got a much faster path than everybody else. And in fact, if you get your citizenship, it might help your other family members with their asylum case. So there's lots of reasons. And if you get your citizenship eventually, you could sponsor your mom and dad. So there's lots of reasons why going with your spouse is most important. But ultimately, whenever you're going to get any immigration benefits, you're going to need that I-94. So start with that lawyer and get that I-94 because that's the most.
I have tried to reach out to.
Well, I know how to do that. Here's what you do. You ready?
Yeah.
Dear Ms. Cruz, my name is Gabrielle Ecator. I am applying for you. I'm your longtime client. You've been handling my asylum case since such and such a day. I am filing for a green card based on marriage to a U.S. citizen. I need my entire file back, and I need it back within 7 days. Please let me know if this will be a problem. If this will be a problem, that would be unfortunate because I'd really hate to have to call the New York bar or the Florida bar to tell them that you won't give clients their documents back. That would be, I really hope it doesn't come to that. Trusting that you'll get me this document within the next 7 days. I really look forward to hearing from you. Here's my email address. Here's my cell phone number. And then if she doesn't do that within 7 days, then you call the New York bar, you call the Florida bar, wherever she's barred, and you make a complaint. The lawyers can't sit on your documents like that. You're the boss.
Okay. So it's New York or Florida bar. Okay.
I mean, whatever bar she is, whatever she, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll say on our website.
That's if she's even still practicing. God. Okay. This is a lot. I'm glad I came up.
I'm really glad you came because I think you just dodged a big bullet, and I'm glad we talked through this. This, for everybody who's watching, this is why I do this show. This is why I do this show, to keep people from making a big mistake when she's got a very clear, clean path to get a green card. Because even if you don't have your I-94, we can still win. It's just a lot more work. We're going to need like affidavits from your mom and dad. We're going to need to try to track down plane tickets. We're going to have to do all this BS to see if somewhere in CBP's system, little Gabrielle Ecator, if we have a little record, they might have a record, but we have to do that before we apply for your green card. Because if you send in that I-130 and said, hey, everybody, I'm here and I'm married to a U.S. citizen and I want to get a green card, they might send you a request for evidence and give you 30 days or 60 days to get them that proof of entry, and then you lose and you got to start all over.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm sorry. Let me just go over the forms one more time.
Okay, sure.
130, 485, 765, 131, 693, and I-20, and then I have to go.
You don't have I-20s. I thought you were on an F1, so you can forget about that.
Okay.
The I-64. Did you get the I-64?
Yeah, he's going to file the I-64.
And then the I-130A is the only other one we didn't talk about. That's just background information about you.
Okay, that one I had filled out and I uploaded it, but now that I know, I'm not even gonna. So can he file it for me, or I have to file it?
You're gonna file it all together in one package. There's different forms that he signs and different forms that you sign. So technically, we're filing it together.
Okay. And then I go to USCIS civil surgeon near me, and use my.
Yeah, but I would wait until you have proof of your entry to do that, because, well, now they say they're good for 2 years. Previously they expired, but the I-94 is the most important thing right now. Like, you need to become obsessed about finding your I-94.
So so if my passport expires, I don't need an I-94 to renew my passport. Correct?
Your passport and whether it expires, that's all between you and your home country. But the I-94 is a U.S. government document that relates to how you entered, when you entered, and is proof of your entry. Now, there might be stuff. The reason we want your passport and everything back is because there might be a stamp in your passport that doesn't rise to the level of an I-94, but would be proof that you entered when you say you did.
Okay. All right. Wow. First step is to get the I-94.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You got it, Gabrielle. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, everybody. We're getting lots of good advice. A lot of good advice. I thought about trying to get the I-94 with the passport number, but that was a long time ago. So we're going to do another show tomorrow. That'll do it for today's show. We're going to do it at 10 a.m. tomorrow because I'm apparently going to the theater, and then we're going over to a friend's for iftar. So tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central. How about that? All the early birds. We will do a show tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks, everybody, for joining on short notice. I'm going to make sure that I post everything here. Sorry I didn't get to everybody. That was a long call. It was an important call. And most importantly, that obviously she's smart. She's going to medical school. She's a freaking genius. She's been here a long time. She's got a complicated immigration history. That call was a perfect example of what we do when we do a consult, or what we do when we take over a case. Those are all the questions. And I almost missed it. You can see how halfway through the conversation, things took a big change when I found out that she wasn't on an F1, but rather was a long time asylum seeker. And somebody put in the comments, let me see if I can find it, because I thought it was a really good comment. It was Ella. Good luck, Gabrielle. It's hard when you're brought here young and have to sort out your immigration. Nurse Laura said, it's expensive to get a lawyer, but it's important. We wouldn't file other paperwork ourselves, and this is probably the most important legal case of your life. Well, that's probably true. Gabrielle, please ask your friends for money. Gym costs around $5,000. Please hire him. You're asking questions that you cannot learn in a 20-minute video call. I've been dealing with USCIS for 2 years. Yep. And there are lawyers who can assist for low cost. I think it's important. If her husband's making $60,000 a year, though, I think they're going to have a hard time getting a low-cost lawyer, which is why I didn't harp on that. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments. Love you all very much. That was a ton of fun. I really got jazzed up talking to Gabrielle. So we'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central. Bye, everybody.